Now, as these systems push east and southeast of Greenland, they basically pull warm, moist air up from the Azores and from Spain, of course, an abnormally warmer environment than normal across this region, and as well as that, it's pulling very, very cold air down from Greenland. As it infuses these, the warm and cold, dry and moist, it basically tightens and enhances that area of low pressure, deepening its centre, and as well as that, the wind field around it starts to tighten up. The isobars on your weather map, of course, start to tighten up, and of course, that shows an intensification of winds. Now, the problem is as well, folks, is the fact that we've got, as these systems tighten and deepen, they therefore also, force that air from both the north and the south quicker into the system, ultimately driving it, so to speak. And the problem is, of course, is the storm track, because of the breaking down of the ridge over Europe, is crossing Scotland. And I really do believe quite strongly that the abnormally warm conditions fueled by the drought and the warmer conditions across Iberia during the summertime, and the negative North Atlantic oscillation flipping positive during the past couple of months, has told me that we could be seeing some significant areas of low pressure crossing over the UK, and that certainly is the case. Now, looking ahead at the GFS model, we can see here, this is for Tuesday, early on Tuesday, and folks, that is actually quite a scary looking scenario. Now, this system itself is going to cross very similarly to the region that yesterday's system crossed over. Now, remember, the central pressure of this low as it crossed over the north of Scotland was roughly 957 in millibars. So there might have been an extra couple of millibars lower than that in some locations, but certainly the central pressure, or the air pressure, was measured in the Northern Isles at 957 in millibars. And of course, that location crossing the north of Scotland means that the strongest winds, you can see here, the very, very tightly packed isobars here to the south of the centre, is where your most powerful westerly winds are going to be. Now, if you've got a centre crossing over like it did yesterday, that means to say this corridor of strongest winds, hurricane force, 100 mile per hour winds quite easily, will yet again cross over the central belt of Scotland, the south of England, Scotland, and into the north of England. Now, it looks as if here by Tuesday, with a 948 millibar centre, folks, that's lower than it was yesterday, positioned here off the west coast of Scotland and the north of Ireland, would suggest that Tuesday morning is going to be a significantly stormy day across Northern Ireland, the worst of the winds over Donegal, down the west coast of Ireland, and folks, this is going to be a very, very dangerous situation by late Monday into Tuesday. And as the system crosses over, it wouldn't surprise me if we see similar conditions in the same areas that were badly impacted by yesterday's storm. As the system crosses off to the east towards Scandinavia, producing big wind, heavy rain, we are going to see yet again another pull of very, very cold air. The cold air that's driving these areas of low pressure is going to get sucked down through the UK and Ireland on the backside. So from mid to late next week, it looks as if we're going to have yet another significant burst of cold air. Looking at the European model, you can see here, this is actually the upper level pattern from yesterday. Look at how cold the air is over Greenland. Look at the mild air over southern Iberia. And of course, the thermal contrast between this cold and warm is enhancing the deepening, rapid deepening of these areas of low pressure as they approach Ireland and the UK. Remember, when the centres are here rather than here. Now, if the centre of low pressure is over south of Greenland, the winds are getting pulled down from here. But if you've got the area of low pressure approaching the UK, that is when this reservoir of cold air can be tapped. And as well as that, once the low is off the west coast of the UK as well, the warmer over the abnormally warmer that of course was developed from the summertime with the drought is then getting tapped from the south as well, and that these two air masses are enhancing these areas of low pressure. But really, folks, it is an interesting pattern for sure. Outlined back in the summertime that I did think there was going to be at least one, if not a few, major wind events over the course of this autumn, and particularly so during late November and the early part of December. And the reason for that is the seasonal transition, the building of cold air. You're going to have colder air this stage in the year as opposed to a month ago, and with the continuation of abnormally warm conditions to the south, really